I smooth the silk of my engagement dress and look into the mirror, trying to find the girl I used to be. My name is Elena, and in 3 days, I am supposed to marry Julian. He is the man of my dreams, or so I have told myself for the last 3 years. He is handsome, successful, and possesses a smile that could melt the coldest heart. But as I stare at my reflection, I don't see a happy bride. I see a shadow. The room is filled with the scent of expensive lilies, Julian's mother's favorite. Evelyn doesn't just enter a room. She colonizes it. Since the moment Julian slipped the ring onto my finger, my life has stopped being mine. It has become a project managed by the matriarch of the Sterling family. I trusted them. I really did. I thought their constant involvement was just a sign of how much they cared about welcoming me into the fold. Evelyn sweeps into the room without knocking, her heels clicking like a countdown on the hardwood floor. She holds a garment bag in her arms like it's a sacred relic. Her eyes are sharp, scanning me for any flaw. She doesn't look at my face. She looks at my silhouette, calculating how I will represent the Sterling name. The tailor finished the alterations. Evelyn says, her voice like velvet wrapped around a blade. It's perfect now. Much better than that bohemian rag you originally chose. The bohemian rag was a vintage lace gown I had saved for since I was 22. It was delicate, unique, and felt like a second skin. But Evelyn had deemed it insufficiently prestigious. She had taken me to a high-end boutique and pointed at a stiff, heavy ball gown encrusted with enough crystals to blind a crowd. It wasn't me. It was a costume. I look at the garment bag, a cold pit forming in my stomach. I feel invisible. Every time I try to speak up, Julian touches my arm and whispers that his mother just wants the best for us. He tells me that making her happy is the path of least resistance. He says it's just a dress, but I know it's a leash. That was the moment everything changed. As I reach out to touch the bag, I see a flash of something in Evelyn's eyes. Not affection, but triumph. She isn't dressing a bride. She is branding her property. I realize then that this wedding isn't the beginning of my life with Julian. It's the final stage of my disappearance. The betrayal doesn't come in a single blow. It leaks out in whispers and hidden glances. 2 days before the wedding, I am at the Sterling estate, tucked away in the library to escape the chaos of the florists and caterers. I just need a moment to breathe, to convince myself that the tightness in my chest is just nerves and not a warning. I hear voices in the hallway, Evelyn and Julian. I start to stand up to greet them, but something in the tone of their conversation freezes me. It's the way Julian is laughing, a light, dismissive sound I've never heard him use when talking about me. She actually thinks the guest list was finalized months ago, Evelyn says, her voice dripping with amusement. She has no idea that the entire back 3 rows are filled with the investors I needed to impress. She thinks she's having an intimate ceremony. She's easy to manage, Mother. Julian replies. I feel the blood drain from my face. She's so desperate for a family that she'll believe anything we tell her. As long as she looks the part in that dress you picked, the merger will go through without a hitch. The image of the perfect Sterling couple is all we need. I lean against the bookshelf, the wood biting into my back. I trusted them. I thought Julian loved me for my mind, for my heart, for the way we talked about building a future together. But to him, I am just a prop. I am a marketing tool meant to solidify a business deal. My desperation for family, the fact that I lost my parents young and have no siblings, is a vulnerability they are exploiting. And the prenup? Evelyn asks. She signed it this morning, Julian says, and I can practically hear the smirk on his face. She didn't even read the addendum regarding the lifestyle clauses. If she ever tries to leave or embarrass the family, she walks away with absolutely nothing. Not even the jewelry I bought her. I feel like I'm suffocating. The air in the library is thick with the scent of old paper and deceit. They aren't just controlling my dress. They are rewriting my entire future into a contract of silence. They think I wouldn't fight back because I have nowhere else to go. They think my silence is weakness. I stay hidden until I hear their footsteps fade away. My hands are shaking, but my mind is suddenly terrifyingly clear. I look down at the ring on my finger. It's heavy, expensive, and utterly hollow. I realize that the man I'm supposed to marry doesn't exist. He is a character Julian plays to get what he wants. And what he wants is a puppet. The night before the wedding, I am back in my apartment, staring at the massive garment bag containing the dress Evelyn chose. It sits in the corner like a monster. My phone is buzzing with texts from Julian, telling me how much he loves me and how stunning I'm going to look. Every word feels like a physical sting. I reach a breaking point. I grab the bag and rip it open, intending to shred the dress, to tear the crystals off with my bare hands. But as I pull the heavy fabric out, something falls from the inner lining. It's a small, handwritten note from the boutique, addressed to Evelyn. As requested, the modifications to the bodice have been made to ensure the bride cannot sit comfortably for long periods, maintaining the upright posture required for the press photos. The inner corset has been tightened beyond standard measurements. They didn't just pick a dress I hated. They designed it to be a physical cage. They wanted to ensure I was literally restricted, unable to move, freely, a living statue for their cameras. The cruelty of it snaps something inside me. I fall to the floor, the heavy silk pooling around me like a shroud. I sob until my throat is raw. I feel the weight of every lie, every manipulation, every moment I allowed myself to be diminished for the sake of peace. I am alone. My family is gone. My friends have been pushed to the periphery by Evelyn's wedding planning. And the man I love is a stranger who views me as an asset. I look at the dress again. It represents everything they want me to be: silent, stiff, and decorative. They think they've won. They think they've broken me into the perfect shape. But as I stare at the gown, I remember something I saw in the attic of the Sterling estate when Evelyn was showing me family history. Deep in a cedar chest, she had shown me her own wedding dress from 30 years ago. She had bragged about how it was the gold standard of the Sterling legacy, a gown that symbolized the power and untouchable status of their name. She told me it was the most important garment in the family archives, kept in a climate-controlled room in the estate's west wing. A dark, cold resolve begins to settle over my heart. If they want me to be a part of their legacy, if they want me to wear a symbol of their family, I will give them exactly what they asked for. But it won't be on their terms. I stand up and wipe my face. The shaking has stopped. I look at the dress Evelyn bought me, the cage, and I realize I don't have to wear it. I don't have to be the victim in their story. I am going to be the architect of their downfall. The morning of the wedding is a blur of calculated movements. I arrive at the Sterling estate early, claiming I need quiet time to prepare. Because I've been so compliant, so easy to manage, the security and staff don't question me. I am the bird in the gilded cage. They don't expect the bird to know how to pick the lock. I make my way to the West Wing. My heart is hammering against my ribs, but my hands are steady. I find the climate-controlled room. The code is Julian's birthday. Evelyn is nothing if not predictable in her narcissism. The door clicks open with a soft hiss of air. There it is, the Sterling legacy dress. It's a masterpiece of white silk and vintage lace, preserved perfectly. It represents everything Evelyn prides herself on: tradition, control, and the illusion of perfection. I know that if I take this, I am declaring war. I swap the dresses. I take the cage, dress Evelyn bought for me, and I lock it inside the chest. I take her dress, the one she treasures more than anything, and I carry it to my dressing room. I feel a surge of adrenaline that tastes like iron. They thought I wouldn't fight back. They thought I was too small to cause a dent in their polished world. As I'm getting ready, one of the bridesmaids, a cousin of Julian's who has barely spoken to me, knocks on the door. Evelyn wants to know if you're decent. She wants to do a final check before the photographers come in. I'm not ready yet, I call out, my voice surprisingly calm. Tell her I want it to be a surprise. Tell her I've decided to fully embrace the Sterling tradition. I hear her relay the message, and I hear Evelyn's smug laugh from the hallway. Finally, she says, the girl is learning her place. I look at myself in the mirror as I zip up Evelyn's gown. It fits me better than the one she bought. It's elegant, but on me, it looks like armor. I apply my makeup with precision, darker than they would like, sharper. I am not the soft, grateful orphan they think I am. I am a woman who has been pushed to the edge of an abyss and decided to fly instead of fall. The guest list is a who's who of the city's elite. I can see them through the window of the staging area. The investors Julian mentioned, the press, the high society vultures waiting for a spectacle. Julian is standing at the altar, looking every bit the perfect prince. He's checking his watch, likely thinking about the merger meeting scheduled for Monday. I take a deep breath. My phone sits on the vanity, a video file queued up. Last night, I didn't just cry. I used the recording app on my phone to capture the audio of Julian and Evelyn in the library. I also found the digital copies of the addendum Julian mentioned, which I managed to access via his laptop while he was in the shower. I've sent everything to a contact I have at the city's largest tabloid. The perfect Sterling couple is about to become a headline for all the wrong reasons. The music starts. It's a grand, sweeping orchestral piece that Evelyn chose. It's meant to herald the arrival of a queen. I step out into the hallway, and the wedding coordinator gasps when she sees me. That's not the dress, she whispers, her eyes wide. No, I say, flashing a smile that doesn't reach my eyes. It's better. I walk toward the heavy oak doors that lead to the garden. I can see Evelyn sitting in the front row, wearing a suit the color of dried blood. She looks satisfied. She thinks the next hour is the coronation of her influence. The doors swing open. The sunlight is blinding for a moment. As I step onto the long white runner, a hush falls over the crowd. It's not the hush of admiration. It's the hush of total crystalline shock. I see Evelyn's face first. Her jaw literally drops. Her skin turns a sickly shade of gray. She recognizes the dress instantly. It's the ultimate insult, taking her sacred relic and wearing it to destroy her plan. Julian's expression shifts from a practiced smile to a mask of pure confusion, then horror. He looks at his mother, then back at me. He knows. He knows I heard them. I don't walk slowly. I walk with purpose. Every step is a heartbeat. I trusted you. I felt invisible. You thought I wouldn't fight back. As I reach the altar, I don't take Julian's hand. I stand in front of him, the silk of his mother's dress rustling in the breeze. The photographers are snapping pictures like wildfire. This isn't the image the Sterlings wanted. This is a scandal in the making. The silence at the altar is deafening. Julian leans in, his voice a frantic whisper. Elena, what the hell are you doing? Where is the dress my mother bought? You're wearing her gown. Take it off. We can fix this. Just say it was a tribute. A tribute, I say, my voice loud enough for the first few rows to hear. The officiant looks like he wants to vanish into the floorboards. No, Julian, I'm wearing this because it's the only thing in this family that actually has any value. Everything else, including you, is a lie. Evelyn stands up, her voice trembling with rage. You ungrateful little brat. How dare you touch that? That dress is a Sterling heirloom. You are nothing. Do you hear me? Nothing. The crowd is buzzing now. Phones are being held up to record. every second. I turned to face Evelyn, my head held high. I am the woman who was supposed to be your daughter-in-law. But I realized I was just being hired as an actress for your business merger. Did you think I wouldn't find out about the lifestyle clauses or the way you plan to tighten my corset? So I couldn't breathe. Julian tries to grab my arm, but I recoil as if his touch is acid. Don't. It's over, Julian. By the way, I sent a little gift to the Chronicle this morning. The recording of you and your mother discussing the investors in the back rows. It should be live on their website in about 5 minutes. I think the merger might be in trouble. Julian's face goes pale. He looks at the back of the crowd, where several men in suits are already looking at their phones. The panic in the air is palpable. The perfect sterling facade is cracking in real time. You're ruining everything. Evelyn screams, stepping into the aisle. You have no one. You'll be on the street. I'd rather be on the street than in your house, I say. I look at Julian one last time. I don't see the man I loved anymore. I see a hollow shell of a person who was too weak to be honest. You didn't want a wife. You wanted a ghost. Well, here I am, haunting you. I reach up and unclip the heavy diamond necklace Julian gave me, the one that was part of the lifestyle clause, and I drop it into the grass at his feet. I turn my back on the altar on the sterlings, and on the life I thought I wanted. I walk back down the aisle, the train of Evelyn's precious dress dragging through the dirt. I don't look back. I can hear the shouting behind me, the sound of a family's reputation imploding under the weight of its own greed. I walk straight out of the estate gates. I don't have a car waiting. I don't have a plan. But for the first time in years, I can take a deep breath. The air feels cool and clean. An hour later, I am sitting in a small diner 3 miles away. I am still wearing the dress, though the hem is stained with grass and mud. People are staring, but I don't care. I order a cup of black coffee and open my phone. The headline is already there. Sterling wedding scandal. Audio leak reveals business merger deception. There is a photo of me at the altar, looking fierce and untouchable in Evelyn's dress. The comments are flooded. The Sterling brand is toxic now. The merger is dead. I feel a strange sense of peace. I lost my fiancé. I lost the family I thought I had found. I lost the security I was promised. But as I look at my reflection in the diner window, I don't see a shadow anymore. I see a woman who knows her own worth. My phone rings. It's Julian. I watch the screen glow for a moment. Then I hit decline and block his number. Then I block Evelyn. I block every single person who stood by and watched them try to erase me. I have a small savings account they didn't know about. I have my talent, my degree, and my freedom. The dress is heavy, so I go into the diner's restroom. I take it off, fold it up, and leave it on the counter with a note to whoever needs a fresh start. Sell this and buy yourself a life. I walk out into the afternoon sun wearing the simple change of clothes I had stashed in my bag, just in case. I don't know where I'm going yet, but the road is wide open. I realize that the bridge I burned is lighting my way forward. Sometimes losing your family is the price of finding yourself.